Welcome, folks, to another episode of Be Brilliant, Enjoy the Journey. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing you to Maura Knowles, who is a certified health coach, an educator, founder of Mac and Mo's, a health and wellness company. And Maura, when you see her picture in the promos, you're going to know that she is fun, she is out there, she is out to have a great time, and also share with you how to be healthy, because she's created a paleo, keto-friendly, no sugar, low sodium, gluten-free, grain-free, Morselicious baking and cooking mix, which is really healthy, and it's an alternative. It was an alternative for her dad to use, and so she's going to tell us a little bit about that. But welcome, Maura. Thank you so much for being here today.
Well, thank you so much, Irma, for having me. And what a beautiful introduction. I am honored to be on your podcast.
I love all your Mo names, your Mac and Mo's and your Morselist and all of that. I love that, not just for the marketing, because obviously, that's really great marketing, but it makes it feel like wanting to see what you're doing in your life that much more exciting, because it's like, ooh, that sounds like fun.
Oh, well, thank you. I love it. I do my best to have fun. You got to make lemonade out of lemons, right?
That's for sure. Don't we know that?
Oh, so, more than ever.
tell me how you got to this point in your life doing what you do.
Well, I grew up in Sacramento, and my dad, his nickname is Mac, and my nickname is Mo, short for Maura. And having survived my own medical miracle, and that's what the doctors say, that's what the hospital said. I went in for a very simple procedure right out of college. I was performing The Wizard of Oz. I was playing Glinda the Good Witch. It was my first professional theater job outside of college, graduating college. And on the operating table, the doctor mistakenly cut my main artery, and I began to flatline. And what was supposed to be a 20-minute in and out procedure, me performing the next night, became a journey, a lifetime of recovering, and over a month in ICU, had to relearn to walk. It was life-changing for myself and my family.
Incredible.
Yeah. Now I can talk about it a lot more candidly than I could years ago. And I've actually since created a musical comedy series that I'm looking, to develop for development producers to get it made. And yeah, I've turned, I'm a problem solver. And I learned that just by people telling me after creating Mac and Mo's in honor of my dad, when he was discharged from the hospital. I did it for him, but I think I know that I was more determined and more passionate to do something for him because I was a survivor myself. And I knew firsthand how much it sucked when you survive a war on your body and your mind, and you come out of a life and death horrible surgery and spending so much time in ICU and relearning to walk and the whole thing, your whole body, everything changes. And when he was sent home, he craved treats. He craved something sweet. And I knew, that's all I craved. In the hospital, I wasn't allowed to eat anything. I mean, they had to feed me intravenously through my vena cava. And it was total parental nutrition. And so I had nothing to eat or drink or no ice for over 30 days. So I knew, I'm like, when you finally are allowed to go home and start recovery and start eating something you crave, we all have our comfort foods, right? Most of us do, at least.
Right.
And I was, working professionally as an actor, singer, new writer, when my dad survived quadruple bypass surgery after surviving 2 massive heart attacks. And I flew home immediately when I got the call, and I didn't come back to LA for over a month. So when he was sent home, he craved these baked goods, something sweet. And like our entire family, we crave sweets. And I was always the family baker in the house. I won blue ribbons as a kid at the 4-H fairs, and
Oh,
I was always
fun.
baking. Yeah, I was little Laura Ingalls. And my mom and I, I dragged her to every Nashville food market in Sacramento, and, looking for foods he could eat, something sweet that didn't have sugar or salt or any kind of preservatives, and I have celiac disease. So no gluten, no grain, and there was nothing at any of these markets. And I said, oh my gosh, they don't exist. So he came home empty handed, and he was devastated. And he looked at me with those Irish eyes, and he said, but you can make something. And I looked at him and I said, oh, Dad, I don't know. He said, yes, you can. And he said, you can try.
We can always try, folks.
We can always try. Always.
Always.
And that's,
my
again,
gosh.
problem solving. And of course, when you have a reason and someone you love and a purpose to create, to fuel your passion, that's all it ignited in me. I dragged Mom back and I said, we're going back to the stores. And by the third store, I had all of these ingredients on the belt to check out. Everything that didn't have sugar, salt, just a ton of raw ingredients. And she looked at me and she said, what in God's name are you going to make with all this? And I said, I have no idea. I have to try.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, folks, that reminds me of, as a certified StrengthsFinder coach, it reminds me of how we have issues come into our life, or we have stumbling blocks or roadblocks that we naturally gravitate to our talents and strengths. We just don't understand that that's what we're doing. And that's what it reminds me of when Maura recounts what she was going through and how she desired to please her dad and to do something for her dad, despite the fact that it seemed like an impossibility, right? Her natural talents came through and saved the day for her. And I think that we avoid looking at ourselves and edifying ourselves and what our talents and strengths are in such a way that really promotes the best of us. We're afraid to do that for some reason. And so, Maura, tell us about not just that you got to this place, right? But what has been the evolution of that journey for you?
Oh, great. Thank you. And I want to touch on, you say the word impossibility. My favorite quote, my guiding philosophy in life, is Audrey Hepburn's quote, nothing is impossible. The word itself says, I'm possible. So I had to comment on that. We are kindred spirits, Irma.
I love that.
And to answer your question, because of my own personal journey in overcoming and, recovering, relearning to walk, and learning how to enter the world again as a performer after surviving my life and death experience and having my entire stomach, cut wide open. I don't know if you're going to want to share this or not, but it was very graphic. And I, by all medical standards, should not be here. And yet 25 years later, I'm still here. And people call me the Energizer Bunny, the Morselicious Energizer Bunny. And when I had the purpose to fuel my passion through my dad, that there was no stopping me.
Right.
Finally,
and sometimes we need that, right, Maura? We need to step outside of ourselves and what we need in order to grow a little bit.
Yes. And I think when you share your passion and purpose, it just ignites this amazing ripple effect. It's cathartic and it's contagious in a good way. And I pretty soon I created these, I call them morsels, Morselicious treats for my dad. And after, I think, 10 failed batches, my sister was in the test kitchen, in my parents' kitchen with me. She was my taste tester. And she was jotting down all the recipes that I was coming up with and, scratching out everything that he hated. And by the 10th attempt, I said, Dad, I'm on my last leg. You're either going to like it or we got to try again another day because I'm throwing in the towel. And thank God that 10th batch or whatever number it was my sister Shauna, she tasted, she said, oh my God, these are, oh yes. Then I had him. I'm like, oh my God, yes. So we brought him to mom and dad, and he was in heaven. So,
isn't that amazing? What a glorious moment, right?
It was amazing.
That you've gone through all of this with yourself, your body, your emotions, your mental state, your spiritual state, all of this, and then comes that moment when your dad is happy.
Yes. He was thrilled, and then it made all of us happy. It was like finding a pot of gold.
Right.
At the end of the rainbow. And, we're Irish, so, that means a lot.
I love it.
And his nickname is Mac. My nickname is Mo. And so pretty soon I just said, these are Mac and Mo's morsels. But it was just for us. It was the family. And then some of, our friends would come over. They just want to see my dad, and they wanted to try, they always knew I was baking something. And so they tried these morsels, and a lot of my friends were like, these are amazing. And some of them are like, oh, they're not sweet enough. They don't have enough, butter, fat, or whatever.
Right.
So they're not for everybody. And that's why I decided to call them morsels, not cookies, because I wasn't trying to compete with cookies. Dad couldn't have cookies, and nor could I. So these are for people who are on a morselicious path or a morselicious lifestyle, or, restricted in other ways. So instead of being the glass half empty, this is to fill your glass, to the cup overfloweth, right? And when I went back to LA, way after a month, I went back to resuming my acting and singing career. And my friends in LA were, buying ingredients so I could make them the morsels. And so I would do it, for fun for them. And I was just kind of doing it for them. And one day, unbeknownst to me, my friend had given to his friend. She calls me on the phone and she said, hi, this is Carrie. And she has a store in Westwood. And she said, we want to sell your morsels. And I said, what?
Who is this?
They're not for sale. Yeah, I was like, they're not for sale. I'm on my way to a callback right now. And she said, well, call me back. We want to, and so I laughed and I called her back and I said, oh, I'm not a business. And the next week she called again.
I'm a daughter making morsels.
Yeah, these are for my dad, and she was very tenacious. And pretty soon I was on the phone with my sister, and my sister asked, so if somebody else does this and they're really successful, are you going to be pissed? And I said, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Said, okay. Yeah. She said, so why not give it a shot?
Well, you know what? That's great that you were honest with yourself about it.
Right.
Because oftentimes, right, folks, I'm telling my audience this because there are probably a lot of them out there that are like, yeah, I thought of that, whatever, X, Y, and Z, and now it's, really popular. And it reminds me that when my son he was born in 83, and when he was about 7 years old, he said, driving to school one day, that he was going to invent something that we could listen to on the radio with no commercials, because he hated commercials. Oh. And then when X radio came out, or Sirius radio came out, he was really pissed.
They stole his idea.
Yeah, he was like, did you tell somebody about this? Because I didn't tell anybody else except you, Mother.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, son. No.
Oh. So it's your fault, Mom.
Yeah, exactly.
That is hilarious.
That is so great that you took advantage and that you listened, that you took the time to listen. Oftentimes as entrepreneurs and small businesses with ideas, we don't move on it because we don't think it's good enough. We don't think people are interested enough. We don't know where to start. We never had that idea before. So for us, it's, no, I'm, an actress, a singer. This is my lane, and I'm going to stick to my lane, right? Which is what we hear all the time. But the diversity that you brought into your life, what has that done for you over the years?
Oh, it's fabulous. I'm so glad you asked. I have a lot of interests, and I've educated myself. I have God-given talents. I've honed my talents. I've honed my skills. I was hired multiple times to work with people who wanted to work with me for leading a healthier lifestyle, to develop recipes for them, to morselify recipes. And, I was balancing all of that because the passion, without our health, we're nothing. Without our health, for me specifically, without my health, I don't have the energy or the skills or the body I'm not in shape enough to act and to be on stage or be on sets and do what it takes to thrive and, really optimize my talents and the role and the work that, anybody does. But as actors and singers, writers, we have to fuel our brains, and we're not just one aspect. We're not cardboard cutouts. Most of us have multi-hyphenate interests and skills and talents. And entrepreneurs especially, we have, we're the polyhyphenate. And I liken it to my stovetop. So sometimes the health and wellness is, that part of my business. I'm a certified integrative health coach because about a year after I started Mac and Mo's as a legal business, I enrolled in nutrition school because I felt like a fraud. All these people wanted to hire me to work with them. And I said, but I don't have a certification. I'm not, they said, you know more than anybody we know, and we trust you, and we want to lead your lifestyle.
Right.
You've lived it, like you walk the walk. And so my stovetop is sometimes it's all, the whole focus is, bringing to a boil my virtual courses or my recipe development. And the back burner is my acting and singing and writing. And then sometimes the acting, singing, writing is in the front burner, and the health coaching is still there. I'm still doing it, but it's not, the simmering or the boiling point. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And folks, we all do that with our lives, right? That's not new for any of us, right? Especially if you're a single mom, or if you're a mother married with 3 children and working at home now and teaching the children and getting, everything and anything ready for the home that needs to be done, going to do the shopping. We're all doing that all day long, every day. But what I want you to take note of when Maura says that is that she's accepting it. It's part of who she is. It's not a burden like, oh, now I have this to do. No, enjoy it. Relish the fact that you have the opportunity to turn on each one of those burners at any time that you would like.
Yes.
And that's the beauty.
Yes. Celebrate it. For a long time, I was embarrassed by it. And I thought, oh my gosh, I had to keep everything separate. I didn't want my health and wellness business to know that I was an actor. But, we all know with Google, people are like, wait, are you an actor or the Morselist? And I said, oh, I'm both. But I would always hide that aspect of me. And then I started having clients that would see me on TV or saw me perform. And they said, wait, you're still doing that? And then I had, casting directors or producers say, wait, are you also selling your Morselicious baking mix, and you work with health coaching clients and you develop recipes? And wait, what? And I said, well, yes. I mean, there are, many people who do wear many hats. And I have,
right.
Like any cook, you have more pots on the stove, you know.
Exactly.
And you have to, when I work with clients, I have them draw out a Morselicious pie. And that's part of my teaching with them. And we work on dividing the slices, and we work towards making them all relatively even, because most of us, we have half the pie, and half the pie is work, or half the pie is self-sabotage or self-deprecation or bad relationships. And right. I said, we're going to work on your whole integrative health, because you can eat all the kale in the world, exercise, do everything, by the book correctly, quote unquote, perfectly. There is no such thing as perfect, by the way.
Right.
And Mary Poppins was practically perfect. She's one of my idols. So that's what I work on with myself and with my clients. And I said, don't be embarrassed to celebrate all aspects of you, all of your passions, and make sure that it's balanced, because unless you're having fun and joy and indulging. I have my Morselist, the Morselist 85-15 rule. So 85% of the time, I stress and encourage healthy, clean, real, whole foods, no crap, meaning no carbonation, refined, and processed food-like products. It's just real foods that, our great grandmothers would recognize. And you're cooking at home and you're eating a rainbow every day, and Skittles don't count. And
oh, darn it.
I know, but
I just heard, Maura, I just heard the audience go, boo.
but wait.
Wait, folks, wait for it.
15% of my rule is the wiggle room.
Woo-hoo.
And hopefully you are wiggling to get on your glow, meaning you're getting more exercise with some of that wiggle. And also indulge in your favorite treats. Maybe you've learned to morselify. Like I have morselfied carrot cake with this amazing coconut cream cheese frosting. And that is oh my God, it's so morselicious. And
I just wanted to tell you that one of the things, like when you say, we're so in cahoots with each other in terms of these ideas and how we approach things. And it just reminded me that on my Facebook page, my personal page, yes. I make a statement that says, don't pigeonhole me. My talents and strengths are varied and serve me to serve others.
Ooh,
and it totally reminds me of what you just said. It just honed in on that concept of don't underserve yourself, because then you're not serving the audience, the clients, the customers, the family members that you want to serve 100%.
Correct. Yes. Put the oxygen mask on yourself first, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
And we've heard that for decades, but we don't really believe it.
Mm-hmm.
We don't believe it. And we have to start believing that, because
Amen.
That's how we all go forward together. And so tell us a little bit about some of the goodies that we can see on your website. Where can we get a hold of them? And tell us a little bit about what's coming up next for you in life, in products, in Broadway shows or off-Broadway shows.
Well, there's nothing happening in live theater right now, as we know, right?
Oh, sad.
I know, but I have been filming my own web series that is on YouTube. I have been making short, safer at home films with an iPhone since Corona Teen, I call it.
How fun.
And I'm singing, and I'm writing, I'm developing this musical comedy series and looking for a producer for that. And that part of me has not stopped. So I'm performing daily, just in my home, but I put it on YouTube, a lot of it on YouTube.
Very
and
cool.
The Mac and Mo's, I have some amazing online virtual courses and workshops. In fact, I'm going to do a webinar for you, I believe, in November. And I work one-on-one with clients. I work with small groups. I work with large groups. I work corporate groups. I'm a keynote speaker. I work with kids, adults, families. That's all on Mac and Mo's under health coaching, virtual courses, and workshops. And then my Mac and Mo's Morselicious baking mix is the physical product that I ship. And that is the paleo, keto-friendly, grain-free, gluten-free, no sugar, the sodium is from the coconut, because coconut naturally has 3 milligrams of sodium per serving. But that when you bake with it, it's, for heart patients, it's still safe, because 3 milligrams, and that's for, I think, a half a cup of it. And, so of course I always have my clients consult with your doctor. If you're really restricted, make sure that all these ingredients, and they're all natural, whole foods. There's no preservatives. So. And
dad approved, right?
Oh, dad approved. Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh yeah. And I'm every day, because I do all my own cooking, even pre-Corona Teen, I was doing all my own cooking because I'm on such a, restricted diet as well. And it's very hard to eat out with celiac disease, because so many kitchens, they have a gluten-free menu, but their kitchen has cross-contamination. So people with celiac still can't eat there.
Right.
And
Yeah. And
so
when
I
you're
develop
super
recipes.
sensitive, it could just be the same bowl that was used for something else.
Oh, it's an
Right?
autoimmune disease. It's an
Right.
autoimmune disease. So that will, over time, I mean, the celiac disease is very real. And to the layman, I liken it to, well, do you know somebody with a peanut allergy? That's how bad it is. And some people with celiac, there are varying degrees, but celiac, it has to be a gluten-free diet. And every person I know who has celiac disease has to be in a, no cross-contamination. Because if somebody dips, a knife into the peanut butter jar and they've just spread it on bread, that will get us sick.
Right.
So it is, people say just a speck, just a crumb. I said, yes, just a crumb that's like poison to somebody like me. So it's just not worth it anymore. I mean, I was getting sick all the time and I would order, gluten-free and pretty soon my doctor said, you can't do that. So I develop recipes every day. And now during quarantine, I'm constantly, because I'm always craving sweets. And then in the heat right now, I'm doing variations of, no sugar, Morselicious shake. And when I can turn the oven on, I make my, little baked Morselicious muffins or mo nuts and, morsels just to satisfy. Because people are like, do you ever indulge? I said, all the time. But I eat real food. And
right.
It
just looks different. It looks different, but that doesn't mean that it takes anything away from your enjoyment of your daily life. I mean, we all enjoy our lives the best way that we can, and whatever is comforting to us and keeps us healthy and doesn't, fits into that 85%. And then, the bad days or the good days, depend on how you look at it, are those, 15%. And there is room for all of it, right?
Yes. And it keeps us thriving. Because when I teach kids, I say, would you put Coca-Cola in your car instead of gasoline? And they look at me, they're like, no. And I said, then why would you put crap in your body every day and think it's going to fuel you?
Right.
I understand you're used to it and that's just kind of the mindless craving. I get that. But just, if you start thinking about them and then you make just educated choices, and sometimes you're like, yeah, but I want to do that today. I want to put Coca-Cola in my tank. Whatever it is, not a plug for Coke, put a pop. And for me, I thrive. I feel better. I have more energy. I'm more creative. My skin glows when I nourish my body.
Right.
And nourishing my body is also indulging, but I indulge in, my treats for me and for my friends that are like-minded may not satisfy somebody who's used to all the processed and the extra sugar and the extra salt. And I understand that because it takes weaning. But I will tell you this, that all of my clients that have worked with me, every single one is shocked at how they are never hungry when they work with me. Sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, cooking and eating real food all the time is like, we're full and we're satisfied.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're never thinking, wow, if I could just have, that burger after I ate this big, huge salad. You don't feel that. Your mind might, but your actual body doesn't.
Right. And I encourage them. I'm like, if you want, add some of that, to your salad. Like, what's stopping you? What do you love about that burger? And usually it's all the fixin'. So, it depends. And I said, so we get healthier options and then we just chop it up and you make a big Morselicious salad, call it a salad meal, call it a bowl, call it, and they're amazed. It's like, make your own version of a Cobb salad, make your own version of a, Morselicious pizza. I mean, there are so many things that I do in educating, and that's just out of my own experience and passion and lifestyle. And I work with clients to help them develop a sustainable lifestyle. I don't believe in fads. I don't believe in deprivation. It's about, let's fuel our bodies more with real foods so that you don't crave the stuff that's weighing you down and causing all the inflammation, which is the root of all disease. So let's flip that switch. Let's turn that around.
Right. And folks, it's never too late. I think that if you haven't heard me say before, I remind you again that my mother is 104 years old. She is amazing. And so even if you're in your 60s or in your 70s, there is never a point where you should say, I'm too old to do anything different. Don't say that, because you don't know how long you will live, number one. And number two, you don't want to go downhill. You want to rejuvenate your body.
Yes.
And I think that Maura and the knowledge that she brings to her coaching clients is amazing and will get your mindset and your body on the right track. Maura, I thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story. Not only is it just brilliant, but you're enjoying it just despite the hurdles, despite the big boulders that got dropped into your lap.
Yeah, yes.
And I think that personifies what it is that Be Brilliant, Enjoy the Journey is about. It's about highlighting people who take situations like yours and really make something absolutely delicious about it and Morselicious about it. And it's incredible. I am in awe of people like you. And audience, send a warm welcome to her, make comments below, reach out to her, and look out for the webinar that's coming up on November 17th. You'll have time to RSVP for that, and all the links will be in the show notes. Thank you so much, Maura.
Oh, and thank you so much, Irma, for having me. It's a pleasure. You're a kindred spirit, and I love what you do. And I wanted to also offer, when they go to macandmose.com, they can schedule a complimentary 20-minute session with me, so a consultation.
Woo-hoo!
And that's on the homepage. It's the big green button. You can't miss it.
I love that. Bonus, people. Yay! I love bonuses. So
Yay!
Audience, take advantage of that. I love it. Thank you so much, Maura. And folks, thank you for being here as always. And we will see you on another episode of Be Brilliant, Enjoy the Journey.